Good afternoon, everyone. Please be seated. On behalf of the University of Strathclyde, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to you to this congregation for the conferment of degrees here in the Barney Hall. Today is a very special day in our university calendar. It's a graduation day which makes it a day of celebration for our graduates, for the families and friends, and indeed for all of the staff of the university. And I can't think of a better venue in which to start that celebration than here in the Barney. In the United States, they refer to these events as commencement ceremonies, as they use them to signify the beginning of a new journey as opposed to an ending. And it is in this spirit that we wish to celebrate graduations at the University of Strathclyde. Now, in a few moments, it will be my privilege to cap each of our graduates as their name is called out and they come up on stage to receive their award. The capping tradition, which has its roots in ancient China, is recognised as a rite of passage and as a mark of achievement. And for each of our graduates once capped, this signifies that they are now part of a community of scholars at the University of Strathclyde that can stretch back over 200 years to the Scottish Enlightenment. So they'll be in very good company. At the close of graduation, we have a reception in a nearby Lord Todd building to which everyone is invited to come along to celebrate. We also hope to have an academic procession from the Barney over to the Lord Todd. This will very much depend upon the weather, and we'll get an update on that towards the end of this afternoon's proceedings. In the meantime, I do hope that you enjoy the ceremony, and when you see your loved ones come up on stage to receive their award, I would seize the moment and celebrate. These occasions do not come round very often, and for many, they're once in a lifetime. So please make the most of it. I now formally declare that this congregation for the conferment of degrees is open, and I invite Professor Douglas Brodie, the Executive Dean of Humanities and Social Sciences, to present our graduates to receive their awards. Thank you.
Vice Principal, in the name of the University and by the authority of Senate, I present to you these students. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Education, Rosemary Cecilia Marion Sleeth. For the degree of Master of Science in Advanced Professional Studies, Ashley Jane Fletcher. And in Advanced Residential Childcare, Ewan Kerr. Linda Lang. Kenneth McGee. Kathleen Quinn. Christian Winkelman. And in Applied Educational Social Research, Emelina Kekelia. Amanda Joyce Muir. Lucia Shu. And in Autism, Fiona Clydesdale. Emma Marie Hanley. And in Child and Youth Care Studies, Denise Halliday. Ian Seymour. And in Family Therapy and Systemic Practice, Sally Fraser. Susan Francis McGregor. Margaret Mitchell. And in Genealogical Studies, Terry Ann King-Bridger. Eileen Clark. Kathleen Mary Keeter. Carol Elizabeth McKinnon. Nicola Elizabeth Payne. Alison Mary Telfer. Tad Thomas. Mark Tresidor. Paul Roland Whittaker. Alexander Wood. Karen Young. And in Learning and Teaching in Higher Education, Patricia Munoz Escalona. And in Management and Leadership in Education, May Flett. And in Safety and Risk Management, Philip Edward Annandale. Sarah Shane. Adam Clark. Sean Gilgallen. Paul Neil Hart. David McCabe. Christopher Maley. Liam Scott. Christopher Andrew Toole. In Social Work Management, Michelle Kennedy Lunan. Donald McGilvray. And for the degree of Master of Education in Education, Mary Graham. And in Education Studies, Naseem Ibrahim Al-Hamidi. Jennifer Hanlon. Jennifer McWatt. Lian Moe. And in inclusive education, Lynn Houston. And in management and leadership in education, Paul Lindsay. And in management and leadership in education with educational studies, Angela O'Neill. And for the degree of Master of Social Work, Rory Patrick Finton McMurray. Victoria Lee Minor. Stacey Morgan. Veronica Stewart Bradley. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Geography, Rachel Jane Campbell. In Geography with Law, Carly Ramsey. And in Sociology with Politics, Jamie Murphy. And in Childhood Practice, Grace Baxter. Christine Bell. Lauren Judith Brodie. Marianne Brawley. Teresa Devani. Lee Alexandra Diamond. Jacqueline Fulton. Julie Ann Geegan. Gillian Hart. Linda Harty. Linda Kinnear. Patricia Ann Liddell. Selina Amy Lynn. Shona Bailey McGill. Donna McInnes. Siobhan McMahon. Pauline McPhee. Katrina Melville. Louise Roslyn Milne. Christopher Orr. Jean Stewart Rainey. Karen Marie Semple. Julie Maria Stewart. Jan Sutcliffe. Susan Tabasnik. Irene Waters. Pamela Ann Wilson. Mandy Wright. Kelly Young. And in Education and Social Services, Emma Louise Blair. Emma McIntosh. Kimberly Donohoe. Siobhan McCall. Lindsay Ann McCann. Amanda Jane McFall. Louise Meakin. Cheryl Jeanette Elizabeth Sawers. Nicola Sherlock. Amanda Jane Smiley. Zoe Taylor. Sarah Grace MacDonald. Lindsay Fremantle. Bridget Ann Friel. Diane Greenhorn. Donna Montgomery. Christopher Pete. Nicole Kimberly Towler. Laura Ann Kidd. And in Applied Social Studies, Francesca Benassi. And in Humanities and Social Sciences, Louise Marie Doyle. And for the postgraduate diploma in autism, Andrew Kenneth Cassidy. Mary Glasgow. Christina Louise Larson. Claire Frances Neeson. And in genealogical studies, Gary Laurie. Anne-Marie Little. And in social work, David Connor. And for the degree of Master of Education in Management Leadership in Education, Angela Marie Capel.
Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, and most of all, Strathclyde University's newest graduates, it is my pleasure to once again warmly welcome you to our graduation ceremony here in the Barony Hall. Quite rightly, all of our graduates have been centre stage, and I'd like to begin my address by congratulating all of you once again on your academic achievements. Your hard work has paid off, and this has now been recognised in front of your family, friends, and the staff who taught and supported you during your time at the university. As mentioned earlier, graduation is one of the great moments in the university calendar. This is a proud day for you, for your family and friends, and for all of the staff at the university. And we celebrate your efforts and your achievements. Well done indeed. Now, in a short while, at the close of graduation, you may be asked to join the academic procession as this leaves the barony, provided that the rain stays off. This invitation actually symbolises the fact that you are now no longer students and full members of the academic community of Strathclyde, a community that numbers over 150,000 individuals. This is an important day for you all, and I hope that the memory of today is something that will stay with you wherever you go and whatever you choose to do in life. We will keep in touch with you through our alumni and communications teams, and I would ask you to keep in touch with us. Let us know what you're up to, what you think about what we are doing at the university, and what you would like to do to help future generations of students. As Strathclyde graduates, you possess some of the most valuable assets anyone can have in today's world. A capacity to absorb knowledge, together with the ability to use this for the benefit of your community and the wider world. Nelson Mandela once said that education was the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. Do not underestimate this power or your responsibility to use it well. In Scotland, we are fortunate in having a higher education system which is internationally respected, and as a society, we are quite right to invest in it. Education broadens the mind and creates opportunities for individuals and for society. However, education itself does not confer rights. The opportunities that education gives each of us also carries with it a responsibility to use what we have learned wisely and for the good of others. A sense of duty and a desire to make a positive impact should come readily to graduates of this university. As Strathclyders, we only have to look to the achievements of those who have gone before us for our inspiration. To John Anderson, our founder, who established this university for the good of mankind. To the world's first oilman, James Paraffin Young. To the missionary and explorer, David Livingstone. To John Logie Baird, who did such pioneering work on the development of television. In the present day, we look to Dame Eilish Angiolini, a pioneer in Scottish justice, as the country's first female Solicitor General and later its first female Lord Advocate. And to Sir Tom Hunter, one of the most successful entrepreneurs in Scottish history and a philanthropist who's used his wealth to the great benefit of others around the world. I am sure that you've all been given lots of advice on how best to plan your life. Some of this advice you will accept, some of it you will rightly ignore, but most of it you will have to learn for yourself. Robert Louis Stevenson put it well when he said, "Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant." Now, to reach this point in your lives today, each of you will have travelled a different journey. For some, the path will have been relatively smooth, and for others, this may have been more challenging. However, I am certain of one thing, that none of you would be here without the active support of your family and friends. They have picked you up when you have been down, and they have encouraged you when you have needed it. And many will be here today, proudly watching as you cross the stage with broad smiles and the odd tear in their eye. Now, they are celebrating today not just because you're almost off the payroll, but because you carry with you their hopes, their wishes, and confidence for a successful career. For the past half hour or so, their applause has rung in your ears as you each in turn cross this stage to receive your awards. I would now like to invite all of our graduates to show their appreciation for the support received from their family and friends. I touched earlier on some of the key figures who have helped create and shape the University of Strathclyde. And you can tell a lot about the values of an organisation by looking at its roots. Strathclyde traces its lineage back to 1796, when Anderson brought it into being, the only university created during the Age of Enlightenment and embodying the Enlightenment principles of reason, tolerance and equality. Anderson's belief in useful learning and his commitment to taking knowledge and using this for the greater good is the motivating force which gives Strathclyde University its momentum today. This can be seen in our pioneering law clinic, where our students provide support and representation to people who cannot afford legal advice. It can be seen in our Centre for Excellence for Looked After Children, which this year received new funding from the Scottish Government to expand its vital child protection work and effect change for children and families. And it can be seen in our Hunter Centre for Entrepreneurship, which contributes directly to the development of the Scottish and the UK economies. It can also be seen in our Technology and Innovation Centre, which was opened by Her Majesty the Queen. The centre is already transforming the way in which academics collaborate with business, industry and the public sector to bring global competitive advantage to Scotland. Other faculty highlights over the year also include, in social work and social policy, funding for the Citizenship, Recovery and Inclusive Society Partnership. This international project, including partners from New York and Yale universities, explores a range of ways of improving the quality of life for people with experience of mental ill health. The Play On project, run by Paragon Music, was named Community Project of the Year and the RBS Finding Scotland's Real Heroes Award. The company works in partnership with Strathclyde, and Dr. Leo Moscardini, in our School of Education, chairs Paragon's Board of Directors. Earlier this year, Social Work and Social Policies Professor Nasser Mir received the Royal Society of Edinburgh's Thomas Reid Medal for his groundbreaking research work on Muslim identities, race, equality and nationalism. Professor Sue Ellis of Education was appointed Chair of the Growth Mindset Advisory Group, established by the charity Winning Scotland Foundation. The group is steering the National Growth Mindset Project, which aims to support pupils to achieve their full potential. Daniela Syme of Social Work and Social Policy has been awarded major funding, including a British Academy Fellowship, for her work on young people's experiences of poverty, stigma at the intersection of ethnicity, class and gender. The school has also received funding from the Scottish Government for an equally safe and higher education project. This is designed to improve our knowledge and understanding of the problem of gender-based violence on university campuses. Now, these represent a small sample of the many innovative projects and contributions being made by our staff and our students in the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. And Strathclyde is being increasingly recognised as a place where things happen, and this is why our graduates are so highly prized by companies and organisations looking to recruit the best talent to drive their businesses forward. Scotland punches above its weight across the board, and I know that the future of Scotland will be built upon the quality of its graduates. However, regardless of their discipline, all our students learn how to be innovative, enterprising and creative, and they make a real difference when they go out into the workplace. So wherever your career takes you, always remember that as a Strathclyde graduate, useful learning carries with it responsibilities that go beyond academic scholarship. And finally, let me offer my sincerest congratulations to you all once again on your achievements, and I hope that you enjoy the remainder of what is a very special day. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that now concludes the formal part of this afternoon's proceedings, which I hope you've enjoyed and that you'll take away very many happy memories from today. I would remind you that we do have a reception just 5 minutes up the road in the Lord Todd, to which everyone is invited to come along and to celebrate. I've been given the thumbs up at the side here, which indicates that the weather has stayed pleasant enough that we can have an academic procession from the Barney over to the Lord Todd. And I'll take this opportunity to invite Strathclyde University's newest graduates to join the academic procession. If I could ask, ladies and gentlemen, for you to remain in the hall until the academic procession has passed, then thereafter follows directly over to the Lord Todd. I now formally declare that this congregation for the conferment of degrees is closed.
Support.